2023 post-game press conference for FC Cincinnati at TQL Stadium. Welcome to FC Cincinnati coach Pat Noonan. To kick us off, Coach, please provide us with your thoughts on this match.
Yeah, a little unconventional in how this one played out, but I'm really pleased with the performance over the course of the 2 days from our group against a very strong opponent. I thought the guys did a lot of things really well, and I would say the only maybe blip in there was the throw-in that led to the goal. Aside from that, I think it was one of our strongest performances. So we accomplished our goal of being at the top of the group and getting another game here at TQL. So we're very pleased with that.
Thank you so much, Coach. We're going to take questions from our media on site. Go ahead, Pat.
Thanks a lot, Pat, for your time. Kind of a situation like you might only find in golf, with you guys sleeping on a lead, really unconventional, I think, like you said. What were your concerns, and maybe what did you like about the situation? Obviously, you guys are in front, but what concerns did you have about this unique scenario?
Just physically where guys were at. You take knocks in a game, and the next day is typically a recovery assessed. You see where guys are at. And so to ask, for both teams, guys to come back out and compete when it's 95 degrees, whatever it was on the field, that's difficult. So a lot of this morning's, conversations just revolved around, let's see how everybody comes in, and if we need to make any, adjustments. And Aaron was going to come out, if we were able to resume yesterday. Ray was dealing with a knock, so that was something we were looking at, Lucho a little bit. Everybody else seemed to come through it okay, but really the concern is just the health of the players and the well-being of the players, so that you can get through it without injury. So on top of all those challenges that the players face, I thought they came out and for 30 minutes, albeit up a goal, did some really good things.
Sergio being scratched obviously kind of threw a wrinkle in the plans yesterday. First of all, can we get an update on him and his health? And then how difficult is that for Brandon I know he was warming up, but it seemed like he was pretty fervently warming up right before he came onto the field. So
yeah, Sergio felt something on the last shot of warmups. And so when he came in, it was after assessing him, not worth the risk. And as far as Brandon, probably not difficult. You look at his performance on top of the hat trick, just the way he started the game, and the way he finished off those plays, his movement. It was one of his strongest games. So for him to be able, to switch gears on short notice and perform like that is, it speaks to Brandon's, character and being ready. So he was outstanding.
Could you just kind of talk about the vibe coming into the game? Like, were the guys kind of tired waking up this morning after so many little hours of sleep, or a strenuous night before?
I think it was so unique that they probably wake up and, aren't necessarily, upset, frustrated. It's just part of, how this yesterday evening or last night played out. So I thought their energy when they came in the building was pretty good. I think it was new to all of us, and they embraced that, and we're ready to play. So we had enough time to kind of have our usual pregame routine, and it sounded and looked pretty normal.
Coach, aside from that one moment that you spoke about coming right off of the restart, how much can that be just attributed to the uniqueness of the situation, and then kind of trying to rebuild the momentum from there, even up a man?
Yeah, I don't want to really give, anybody an out on that, because we had just addressed the fact that the play was going to be restarted in our defensive third, and they have a couple guys that have long throws. So we're likely going to have to defend the box, and we just didn't do it well enough. So it was addressed. And, so really there's no excuses in how we had a setback, with the restart of play. But as you saw, it didn't, I don't think, affect us in a way where we lost our head and lost our cool. We were able to immediately get a chance with Brandon, wasn't able to convert, but obviously got the second opportunity in that last 30 minutes and finish it off. So, it was no excuses in the step back, but very pleased with the response.
Was the start yesterday a sign that this team has learned something from having conceded first the last 4 games? And then if I could attach a second part to that, how different is your back line with Matt Miazga starting? It seems like he's kind of just the glue. It seemed like Nick Hagland's performance was kind of elevated. It seems like that's been the case anytime he's in there, really.
Yeah, when you have, strong players, they typically make the teammates around them better with their positioning, with their communication, with the way they provide passes, with the way they cover. All of those things Matt does in a really good way. And that's why when he's on the field, our team's better and the players around him are better. As far as the first part of that, what we, learned, we didn't have to come from a trailing position. So I think they understand the importance of positioning ourselves to have a lead and what that looks like in terms of winning games, which we've done well when we started the game strong, when we get a lead on our opponents. So it was nice to get back to a position where we're playing from ahead.
All right, our last question will go to John Lupo online. John, go ahead, please.
Pat, first of all, congratulations on advancing to the round of 32 and winning the group. Just a 2-part question. First of all, what do you think are some of the things that you'd like to work on, sharpen up, and get ready for the knockout stages? And secondly, Aaron, starting him, his connection with Lucho and Brandon, just what have you seen from that? How would you rate his overall performance? Where do you think what do you think he's maybe doing well and maybe can get a little bit better at as you continue to integrate him into the team?
With the first part, we'll look back at the games. I think, what I take away from this stretch of being up a man in this particular game was we managed it better than, the Nashville game in the SKC game. So that was an improvement. But like every other game, there's going to be certain things that you take away based on the opponent and how the game played out. But I think we can always be a little bit better in how we move forward as a unit, how we position ourselves behind the ball when we're attacking. There's still a couple, if you look at how we created some of our chances and when they broke down, what's our shape look like behind, maybe our front 3. And so sometimes that's difficult for midfielders and in the back line to keep up with the play, with the decision-making on the ball of our front 3, but just stay more connected so we don't open up ourselves in transition. And the last part, just with Aaron, I think you can see with, his feel for the game, the way he receives passes, his ability to hold the ball. He took some really tough entry balls and was not only able to control them, but find the right way to use his body to gain an advantage, to keep possession, to get us moving forward. I thought he was excellent, in his minutes in that regard. Has a good way of finding his shot. We're still working on, getting him into, positions where he's closer to goal, depending on where the ball is. And that, that's part of it. It's early on in the process and he's still learning things, but I thought his play, last night was really, really impactful for our group. So I think the relationship with him, with Brandon, Sergio, Dom, whoever it is that he's working alongside and with Lucho underneath him is only going to get stronger. And like I spoke about with Matt, Aaron's a very good player that's going to make the guys around him look better.
Okay, and with that, we conclude FC Cincinnati's press conference. Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. Momentarily, we will be taking questions from our Chivas Guadalajara